In case you were wondering, this is my natural hair. I know somebody just rolled their eyes and said they were not wondering. Well, I'm still going to tell you, Sha. It's my natural hair, guys, and it used to be way longer than this, but I think pregnancy dealt with me somehow. All the hormones, when it came into play, it took some of it, but that's okay. We'll still try to get it back to where it used to be, and hopefully past where it used to be. And that's on. If you're in Canada, or if you're planning to come here, maybe to have your child or something, first consider it a blessing, right? It's a blessing because we all know what's happening in the UA, or forget I said that. Okay, guys, so first things first, the Canadian healthcare system is free. Yeah, so when you have to give birth, you're not worried about having to pay so much. Oh, my bill is going to skyrocket and whatnot. No, that doesn't happen here. You get treated for free. You go for your appointments to see your OBGYN, maybe a family doctor, or whoever's taking care of you for free, as long as the person is a medical person here. The only things that are not free are your prescription drugs. They're not free. They're exactly free. You have to, like, either you have insurance that covers it or you pay cash. I'll just give you guys a little bit intro of what my labor was like, or what it was like for me on the day I had to have my baby. It was like every regular day. I just woke up that morning. I was feeling funny. I told my mom that, hey, mommy, see, I feel somehow, but I don't think this is it. Maybe it's false alarm, right? She's like, okay, just watch it and see. So I got busy, went about my duties that day, like nothing was happening. I was ignoring it. I thought maybe it was Braxton Hicks. But sometime around 4 p.m. I had to go to the office for something. It was like a quick dash in and dash out. So I went to the office, and on my way back, I told my husband that I feel somehow, my husband took me to the office. I feel somehow it's getting stronger. I feel like this is not Braxton Hicks. I mean, I've had a baby before, right? So I should be able to tell the difference. So I said, I think it's not Braxton Hicks. So he's like, okay, let's go home, see how you feel. If you think you can't handle it anymore, let's go to the hospital. Okay. So we went home. Immediately we got home, I knew that, man, this is it. I told my husband, if you want to eat, please try to eat now. We need to go pick Joel, because Joel was at her day home. We need to pick Joel up and go to the hospital. Let me just go check. It's better for them to tell me, no, it's not, it's a false alarm, than for me to, sit at home and self-diagnose. That was how I got to the hospital. Okay, we picked Joel up. My husband had his dinner quickly. He had it earlier than normal. Picked Joel up, went to drop her with a friend of ours, a very good friend of ours. Went to the hospital. I got there, I couldn't walk. I was uncomfortable. I told my husband, just drop me here, because he had to go park. Drop me here, I just need to walk in. I walked into the hospital. There was somebody helped me in and all that. I got there, they checked me, all the pain I was feeling. He told me, yeah, 1 cm and you have to go home. I'm like, you can't be serious. What? I have to go home. I told the doctor, I'm sorry, I don't think I can go home. I don't feel very good. She was like, well, it's our policy. If you're not if you don't progress in dilation, they cannot exactly keep you. I found that very uncool because I was in pain. Anyway, I went home. Long story short, we're waiting for the labor to progress. It just happened like this. Like, we got home by like 8, by 10, 11, we were going back to the hospital because then I was already screaming. I was in serious pain. And if you know, if you live in Canada, you would know that the roads in Canada, they're not exactly smooth. They are smooth, but they have some cracks. I don't know what causes it. So sometimes then they have some holes, like I don't know, like some drains that are still above the ground level somehow. So when your tire gets on it, you kind of go in a gallop. I don't know what that is, but that's how I'm trying to. That's the only way I can explain it. So guys, we're going on the road, and this road that was not smooth was killing me. For every time my husband entered any of those things, I would scream because it was horrible. Eventually got to the hospital. My husband took me. He got a wheelchair because at the parkade they have some wheelchairs just there, I think, for patients. So my husband put me in a wheelchair and was wheeling me in. When we got into the hospital, went straight to labor and delivery unit, and they saw me. They started asking their routine questions. So these were questions they had asked me before. The first time I told you I went, I was 1 cm. They asked me some routine COVID questions. When the lady was asking me this time, I don't even know, the pain was just so much from the bed. I was like, you guys have asked me these questions before, please. The way I'm talking now, I'm still calm. I was screaming, don't ask me again. You've asked me before. I was here before you asked me this question. Then they opened the door for me. Of course, they made sure they finished their routine checks or routine questioning. I got into the hospital and they came to check me, how dilated I was. Immediately the nurse checked. I was already 9 cm. Ladies and gentlemen, that's when I saw, well, I say nurses, doctors from different angles. They all like sprang into action. They started wheeling, took me from the bed where they put me initially onto another bed. They were moving me. I'm like, where are you guys taking me to? All of this in pain. Where are you taking me to? Like, we're taking you to the delivery unit. You are in active labor and you're already 9 cm dilated. I started crying. I'm like, no, I told you guys, I came here before. You told me to go back home. You told me I was 1 cm, that I couldn't stay. You told me to go back home. That thing they did it was so annoying. Like, my mom was so pissed. My mom is in the medical field. She's like, how would they do that? I don't know what their policy is, but that's what they did to me. I started crying. You told me to go back home. Now I'm in so much pain. All the while my husband was by my side. He was holding my hand. He was like, baby, don't worry. Baby, you're strong. The Lord is with you. Jesus is with you. He was praying. He was, encouraging me. When I got to the labor and delivery unit, I was still crying. Then my doctor came in. So when I saw my doctor, she was like a breath of fresh air for me because she was like one of the first doctors that attended to me that took care of me, like prenatal care, as when I was still pregnant. So I was happy to see a familiar face. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. She's like, how are you? She was all smiles. She was like, are you ready for us to get this baby out? She's like, let's see how ready you are. And she decided to do her own checks. And she's just like, yes, that's good, girl. You're 10 cm already. So let's get this baby out. This was me crying. This was my doctor, all smiles and as calm as possible, So it was actually making me feel better. So labor started and they held my hand. Like, I had the most supportive team. The nurses were sweet. The doctor was sweet. They held my hand. They were encouraging me. You can do it. My husband was the sweetest. Even though I screamed at some point. I'm sure he has forgiven me anyway. At some point, I was screaming. Because I told him initially when we were going to the hospital that, please, when I start screaming, try to help me not to scream. Just tell me to breathe, okay? So when I was 1 cm, he was telling me, baby, breathe. I was breathing. I could breathe through 1 cm. So at 9 cm, I was like, baby, breathe. I'm like, don't tell me to breathe. Don't tell me to breathe. Don't tell me to breathe. So he was looking like, what? What? Like he didn't know what to do anymore. No fault of his, right? So while they were there, baby came out, and oh my God, she was so beautiful. I could see, I could only catch a glimpse of her when they brought her out. They took her under the light, you know, all those jaundice checks they do. The pediatrician or pediatrics team came in. They were checking her, checking everything to be sure everything was fine. And to the glory of God, everything was fine. All right, so then they brought her to me. At this point, I was already exhausted. I'll put some pictures and little videos that I made. I didn't exactly cover my labor and delivery because I don't know how people do that. I'm sure I would have flung the camera if anybody was doing that for me. You know, so they put the baby on my chest, and you know when they say, oh, when you put the baby on your chest, all you feel is love. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel love because I was still hurting. You know, I was just happy she was on me, but I wasn't smiling yet. My smile hadn't come in, but then my face was still very sour at that point. So what I think about the hospitals here in Canada, I feel like, well, then after all of that, they took me to delivery recovery ward or recovery unit, postpartum unit. A lot of things are not as available. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because they're on the budget. There's so many things that are not as available as you would love for it to be, to feel comfortable. So candid advice, try to take your own stuff. They would give you basic items like diaper, baby's first wear and all that, hats. They'll provide all of those for you. But apart from that, there's some other things you might need, like like nipple cream. When I was trying to start breastfeeding for the milk to flow and all of that, it was hurting. Breastfeeding hurts. God, it hurts. Initially it hurts, so calm down, don't be scared yet. But after some time, you start I think the nipples toughen, so it becomes easier and better. And I needed nipple cream. I think that was the only thing I forgot to pack in my hospital bag. I forgot mine in the house. So they're like, okay, they don't have it available. I'm like, how do you not have nipple cream available? This is supposed to be postpartum ward, right? I think eventually somehow they went and got me some. They just scooped it in one tiny distance. I'm like, so when my husband was going home, I just told him, please, can you bring, I just told him where I had kept it. Please bring it, because I needed to do away with this tiny bottle they had given me, or tiny container they had given me. Anyway, guys, so in all of it, very thankful that you don't have to pay a dime. You're well taken care of. You have good people around you, supporting you, helping you through the birth process. And most importantly, if you have a good spouse by your side, that would be good. Otherwise, if you're doing it on your own, we're never really alone, right? I feel like God is always with us. Yes, so you're never really alone. Don't think you're alone, okay? All right, guys. That's just the quick story I wanted to share with you guys. If you have any questions to ask me, you can ask in the comment section, or you can follow me on Instagram, on Snapchat, and send me a DM, send me a message anytime, and I'll respond. Okay? Thanks, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell for new videos from me. And also, I won't forget to say thank you guys for 100 subscribers. I know I haven't been the most consistent, but there's 100 of you, and I am so happy. I'm very happy that you guys have decided to subscribe to this channel.